Hello and welcome to The Appointment. I am Pranjal Sharma. Joining me today for a conversation is Mr. Mahesh Gupta, who is the CMD and founder of Kent Systems. Mahesh, thank you very much for being with us today. Mahesh, you were a professional engineer working in a public sector oil company when you started your career, and then you decided to become an entrepreneur, and now you have a very, very big and growing organization. Tell us a little bit about your early years. How did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I think it was a bit difficult situation at that time. I had been doing a lot of innovation in my mind, and I had some solutions to oil conservation. And I was finding myself suffocated in that atmosphere wherein the research and innovations could not be expressed. And because it's a big organization and it's like an ocean, and a drop in an ocean doesn't count much. So I thought I must come out and explore my entrepreneurship skills. And whatever ideas I have, I should be put them to use for oil conservation, because that's what I worked for 10 years in Indian Oil Corporation.
Which year was this?
That was year 1988. So I joined them in 77, and then I worked them for about 10 and a half, 11 years. And then I decided to quit, and you must understand, when I quit, I was at peak of my career. I had already had 2 promotions, and my management was telling me, you're a blue-eyed boy and you have a good future.
You may have become the chairman later.
Well, that doesn't excite me, because to me that's not the value. To me the value was, even at that time and even today, is what I am adding to the society, what I am giving back to society. I'm not saying as chairman he's not giving back to the society.
Do you think that when you quit your job at Indian Oil Corporation after being very successful as an engineer, what was the kind of risk that you were taking? Were you breaking out, or you were taking a risk? What was going on in your mind?
So my mind was that I will add on some innovation into this ecosystem. Risks were very high. And I'll confess with you, my parents were so angry with me. They didn't speak with me for a week. They said, you are in Indian Oil, your life is taken care of. So why should you take risk? But for me, there was no risk, because I had my confidence.
And that was also the era where risk-taking was not considered good. It was not acceptable or encouraged for the younger people.
Absolutely. What you say is absolutely right. The same situation. But then there's some substance in everybody's mindset that which takes decisions. It's not the rational decisions, it's a decision which comes from inside, that you need to do it.
But you had no experience of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. But I knew that if I don't come out now, I don't think I'll ever come out. Because having worked for 11 years, that was a time when I had the energies. I was very young at that time, and I knew the time is with me. Because I thought that if I fail, I still have an opportunity to go back and do my career again. And coming out from one of the best engineering colleges, we were full of confidence, because I had performed in the job, and I knew with my degrees and with my background, to find a job after even 5 years of failure won't be so difficult.
What was the first product that you created for the market?
Well, I came out with a product which could check viscosity of lubricating oils within minutes on site. It was very important to know quality of oil which you are using in your oil consuming equipment like hydraulic systems or diesel generator. People had to wait for days to know what is the quality. Idea is it can have an effect wherein you can have a catastrophe if your oil is not good, or you can change oils too early and cannot be utilized to total benefit. So I developed this equipment which was very helpful to the industry, and that began my career.
And then the next phase of growth for you was when you started consumer products like the RO water purifier.
Well, that continued for 11 years, and I must confess that it was very difficult to begin with. But I kept on innovating products. I came out with oil flow meters, I came out with full oil testing kits, oil purification equipment. And I became a successful entrepreneur, I would say, within a span of 3 to 4 years.
But you were selling to businesses?
I was selling to businesses, to industries. It was B2B. But I was making profits. a small company, but making profits. And and even at that time, I could say I've taken a good decision to come out of it.
So within 4 years of starting out, you could say that you were successful in your first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then moving from the oil industry and making products for the oil industry to the consumer industry, that is again a big switch.
Absolutely, and it all happened by accident, let me confess with you.
All good things happen by accident.
I had no water purifier in my home, but I knew the water is salty in Noida. And my children fell sick of jaundice, and I thought that I must have a water purifier. But since I had a setup, I decided which is a good water purifier. I went and did a market survey. I couldn't find one, which is based on a process which could remove what is soluble in water. Then I decided to make one for myself. I imported few components I sourced locally, and I made one water purifier for myself. At that time I thought, if it is not available and it's a problem which is growing, why not make it available to the country? So I decided as a small venture to start water purifier business in the year 99. And well, it's again a big struggle story. I was trying to sell product which is 5 times costlier than the normal UV purifier. And I was...
because you took the water purifier to a new level of excellence.
Absolutely.
From what the market had.
Because that's what I invented, and that's what I used it, and that's what I thought would be good for people.
Because reverse osmosis at that time was not attached or not thought of for personal consumption
Absolutely,
at all.
Absolutely. It was more for desalination process. It was being used for seed desalination and supplying water to the municipalities. For domestic use, it was just entering in foreign countries. We did enter, and we did try to sell it, but selling was a bit difficult. But I knew it will be a good idea, because to whomsoever we supplied, every consumer was very happy.